Technology, so much fun. We're live now. We're live now. Hi,
Hey,
Emma, we're here. There's always a little bit of technical stuff to get through, but we made it on. We made it
that,
on.
that's kind of
How
like awkward sex.
exactly. Nothing is smooth going, right?
No.
Even good sex, there's the ups and downs. You gotta go with the flow. You gotta go with the wave. So hello everybody, whoever comes on. Hello, or if you're watching this later, hello, 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 hello. It's Leanna here, sex and relationship coach. Yes, and I have a really cool chick here, Emma Fox. Emmy, right? Emmy.
Just M.
Is it M? Okay.
Yeah,
I spelled it wrong and I said it wrong. So
that's okay.
And we just met recently, just really had a nice connection, and we both had some similar experiences. And we're going to get into talking about threesomes in particular, and talking about the um, the person who is the third of the threesome, which M has a lot of experience with.
That would be
So
me.
that's me. I want to see if I can find. Oh, we're live. We're live here. Okay, so I want to see if I can see where people will comment if they can, if they come on. Okay, I've got that set. Okay, so and why don't you tell a little bit about yourself? You do some similar stuff that I do, and you've been having some fun and working with people and doing cool stuff with couples. So just explain a bit about what you do and where you are and a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. So I'm living here in Vancouver, British Columbia, in Canada. So hello everyone from wherever
Yeah.
you are. I've been in the lifestyle as a single woman for about a year now, since September. I'm also an intuitive relationship guide. And basically, what I do is I help long-term couples guide them and open up their relationship, but moving from their heart center towards love as opposed to their mind, which is the fear building, story building, the programming that we have experienced in life. And I really, really enjoy being in the lifestyle and entering into couples intimate space because it's such a beautiful space. It gives me a lot of energy. I love watching couples that are really in love with each other, who have a solid relationship foundation, and that they're so strong in that love that they're able to expand that out and to invite others into that space. And it's
Mm-hmm.
just it's very nourishing. It's very heartwarming. And I think the world would be a much better place if we were operating in that vein,
Yeah.
from that place.
Yes, if we were more relaxed and able to do that, we can get into reasons why that maybe is a
Yes.
difficult place to
Yeah.
go as well. And so you said you were in the lifestyle. Let's just talk a little bit. What is the lifestyle, so people know what we're talking about here?
Yeah, so I didn't make this term up.
No.
I'm not very keen on actually a lot of these labels. And but anyway, so the lifestyle is basically couples who are swinging and single people who are part of that community and people who are practicing non-monogamous relationships, ethical
Mm-hmm.
non-monogamy. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a play non-monogamy. It's a place where you can explore your sexuality without judgment.
yes,
You can go as far or as you can just be observer as well, or you can get involved and join and make it and explore and experiment and try all sorts of things, right? Um,
yeah.
yeah, and
Anything
such a
goes.
what?
Anything goes.
Anything goes, and it's such a loving community, really, and there's I work a lot with couples, and my big thing is about exploration, opening up to exploration, so that I truly believe that you have to, as a couple, and this doesn't necessarily mean you have to go non-monogamous, but you need to open up exploring and experimenting as a couple.
Hmm.
And in this community, even if you decide if you even if you don't do anything that's non-monogamous, you still play with each other. This community is a place that you can talk to people about sex, that you can learn about what other people are doing and how they feel. It's just got so much information for people that are still that are they're looking for something to go beyond just sitting in the same kind of box that they've been in for a long period of time.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that I've read a lot of studies about sexual exploration and sexual desires, and one of the top desires that comes up after all of these studies is people wanting to have threesomes.
They are
So
fun.
it's a big one. It's a big one. Big fantasy that people have. So that's why I wanted to talk about it, because the fantasy is there. There's such this huge fear to actually go and do it and try it. Where do I find somebody? Can I trust someone else? Is this person? There's so many questions come up. Will this person destroy our relationship?
Mhm.
And so I want to talk about some of that, like how as the third person, just talk a little bit about that experience, and if a couple were to be looking for a third, what do they do?
Yeah, those are really great questions and very valid. Um, for me, as the third, normally what I do is I meet the couple in a public place. Usually we go for a bite to eat or something, a drink, and then we just start to chat. And one of the first things I inquire about is what what is it you'd like to experience, and what are the boundaries that I should be aware of? Because for
Mm-hmm.
me, as the third, entering their intimate space, I need to know the lay of the land, right?
Yeah.
So
Where would they find somebody like you?
there's an awful lot of websites here in Vancouver. We have several lifestyle websites that you can become members on Facebook. I started following, I guess in the States, there's a lot. There's also lifestyle Facebook groups that you can join. If you just Google, you
Mm-hmm.
can find
Yeah,
anything
you can
on
find it.
Google.
It's there.
It's there for sure. And
Yeah.
we're actually very open. There's a lot of information out there that you can get,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's just a matter of knowing what you're looking for and then just going for it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so then they contact you. You said, okay, then you have a little chit chat, and then you start with sort of a non-committal drink. So no
That's right.
sex, just let's
Yeah,
have a drink
so
and eat.
that's correct. So every time I meet a couple, there's no expectations, and that's the first thing I say. And we're simply meeting, getting to know each other, making sure there's a connection, there's chemistry. Will this work for them? And also, will it work for me? Because it's not just about them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also I'm there to have pleasure as well. And
Oh yeah.
I'm not just hanging out there, like an object.
Well, yeah.
So
I mean, I think that's some that's what I think a lot of people think that if you're in the lifestyle, if you're in a non-monogamous scenario, you're just having sex with everybody, no problem. It's just, but it's not true at all. We're all
oh no.
very particular, right?
Yeah, but everyone is this is the thing. Everyone is unique, a unique person. So you get two unique individuals, and then you get their unique relationship. And so every time I enter a couple space, it's never the same. The boundaries are
Mm-hmm.
never the same. The experience is never the same. And I have to go in that knowing that, to not have any
Mm-hmm.
expectations or think, oh, it's going to be great, or I hope this happens, or I really need to get to know the couple and their relationship. This is key for me. If at any time I feel within our conversation that there's discord, their communication style isn't solid, or I just don't feel solidity in their connection, for me,
Yeah.
I will not enter that space. That's one of my boundaries. And
Right,
so,
right. And
yeah.
have you entered a space before where that wasn't the case, and what happened if you did? Like, why did you make
Um,
that boundary?
Well, for me, I'm really well for me because I'm also having an experience. And if
Mm-hmm.
I enter in a space that's not solid, a relationship where the foundation uh, is precarious, and then I'm the one who's going to poke the bear, so to speak, and things are
Yeah.
going to start to unravel. And I don't want to be in that space when that happens.
Yeah.
Um, can things happen once you're in there and oh, a little jealousy or something? Absolutely. And everything needs to stop when that happens. And I'm absolutely okay with that. But generally speaking, if I feel that there's not solid footing, I won't go in. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that makes sense. You know, people, it's not a having going into a threesome is not the cure for the relationship, or even the idea of exploring and experimenting. You want to still make sure you have really good communication with your partner, right?
yeah,
Before you bring that third person in. You want to make sure you and your partner are on the same page, that you have created the same ideas of what you're looking for, and maybe the same boundaries, so that when you bring the third in, then it's another conversation, right? and
yeah,
and so you
yeah.
you can then feel comfortable that you know that these two are in a connection.
Exactly. And yeah, and like you said, the communication is both ways. It's not just between the couple. Then the communication then comes towards me. So, because I also need to feel safe. I also need
Mm-hmm.
to understand, where I stand and what's hands off, what's not, can I do this or that? And um, so if I don't have that information from the get-go, then that's not going to work.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So you ask a lot of questions about sex.
I do, sure, absolutely. I mean, an experience that I had when I first entered the lifestyle was a couple who invited me, and I was their first third experience.
Mm-hmm.
And one of their boundaries was anything goes, except for no penetration with her partner. And I was like, that's okay. I'm cool
Mm-hmm.
with that. And so
Clear.
yeah, we had a beautiful evening, really lovely couple, and everything went well. And afterwards, the woman contacted. We're very good friends now, so I'm very fond of this couple. She contacted me afterwards, and then we had a discussion, and she talked about what was good for her, what happened that maybe she wanted something different to happen. And so her and I had that discussion after her and her partner had the discussion about
Mm-hmm.
how was that for you, that sort of thing. And afterwards, I got invited again,
Hmm.
a second time. And on the second time, then it was game on. Everything was open, and so what I appreciated about that is that the couple was not afraid to speak their boundaries to me and to let me know what was on the table.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, I got invited again. Then that was open, and it's okay. Boundaries are not rock solid. They're not solidified. They're very movable. And
Mm-hmm.
she just needed to make sure that she was going to be comfortable and that she wasn't going to get jealous or have a reaction. And
Yeah.
so I really, really appreciated that about her, because that boundary not only helped her, but it also helped me have a really good experience with them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome. That's really, the communication is so important,
Yeah.
and right off from the get-go. So, it's a really great opportunity, even if you don't know if you're going to have sex with this third person yet. You kind of meet, but it's a great opportunity to start to even just begin to talk about sex, and find out what it is that what are your boundaries as you discuss it. How far do you think you want to go in this situation, and what do you like, what do you not like, and really, like, putting it on the table before
Hmm.
you begin to have any kind of experience.
Yeah.
Like, I know for me, like, you're bisexual, right?
That's
Or
correct.
you said you were pansexual, I think, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I like all forms of sex
All
with
forms of sex.
all kinds of people.
Whatever beautiful energy is there and you're
Exactly.
attracted
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
And when my ex partner who was bisexual, we would have threesomes and we would get involved with people. I remember in the beginning not having those strong boundaries, and then there being lots of complications later on, and we kind
Yeah.
of learned as we went on. But we found that you had to really put everything on the table as clearly as possible,
Yeah.
and if you don't know, like if you're not sure if you're going to be comfortable or not, then you just have to be honest about it. Being really
Yeah.
honest is super important.
It's very important, and it's a very loving act, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
It's a loving act for yourself and also for your partner, because you're saying, okay, this is what's going on for me. I'm not sure about this, and you're allowing them then to help you and to support you in that. So it's a very loving act to be honest and just say, this is not cool with me, or I want to experience this. Um, and sometimes that can be very uncomfortable, right? Especially with
Yeah.
all the programming we've been taught about not wanting certain things, or certain things are bad, or, and all the shame and the guilt that comes along with it. And so
Yeah.
yeah, so I really agree with you that it's so important to just talk and talk about it over and over again. And then to experiment, to jump in, and it might be just a toe dipping in, and that's okay.
Well, I like
Right?
what you said about, I think people this is what I've heard from couples that I've worked with. They're afraid of the all of the possibilities. So there's so much that you can possibly do, and it's just such a fearful place to be going in. But like you were saying, you just have to take it one step at a time. If you don't want to do certain things yet because you're not comfortable, you just have to voice it, and you don't have to do it. Everybody's there to accept each other for the way they are, for the boundaries that they have. This is an experiment. Let's see how we all feel. Let's
Yeah.
communicate through the process. If someone says no, you stop.
Yeah. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah,
It's just like,
it's a no-brainer, but at the same time, it's such a huge fantasy. Is blown up into this massive kind of ball of fear. That because it feels like it's just so taboo and so crazy and so wild, and it is
yeah,
fun and crazy and wild. Yes,
it
at the same
is.
time,
Yeah.
it's the kind of thing where you go in very consciously, right?
Yeah, awareness is key, you know. Um, I can't say that enough, is simply being aware, being present in your body, listening to your body's cues. Um, you mentioned about how all the endless possibilities is scary. I'm the opposite. I'm like, oh my God, what is going to happen? When I go to a
Yeah.
party, I'm like, okay, what's next?
Yeah, well, when
um,
you can get to that point where you can just let go, and like the excitement is bigger than the fear, right? So the excitement's going to lead you through. I
yeah,
mean, you just let it flow in a spontaneous
yeah,
manner, and
yeah,
and that's the beauty of it too, because
yeah.
you don't know what kind of energetic condition everybody's in, what kind of energies you're going to meet with, what's going to actually take place.
And I just want to touch a little bit about the fear aspect.
Yeah,
So,
please.
so for me, the fear-based aspect of that, it comes from our mind,
Yeah.
right? It's not coming from the heart. It's not coming from love. And we're
Mm-hmm.
constantly leading with our brain, as opposed to dropping down into our bodies and into the love that we have for one another with our partner, and really putting trust in that, and
Mm-hmm.
going in where I'm solid with you. I trust you, you trust me. Let's go out and have a great time. Let's explore and see where we can go with this, and being having a really open, curious, childlike mind. If we watch children when they interact with each other, there's no, they just approach you and go, hey, I like you, can we play?
Mm-hmm.
Can we and,
Hmm.
and and can we do that as adults and approach someone and go, hey, I'm really attracted to you, and just wondering if you'd be interested in getting together. Let's go to the playroom. It's the same thing.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah, I
same
agree. I mean,
thing.
it has to be about having fun, really having fun. And again, you like you say, open up your playfulness and
Yeah,
your curiosity, and
yeah,
it's just it's connections. It's adult play, right? I mean, well, kids
yeah.
play around,
Oh
sexually, things
yeah.
happen, and
Oh
but
yeah.
take it into and then it's very innocent, and so but you can bring that same kind of beautiful energy into the connection you have with as adults if you can let yourself know that you have the control. You have the control of what's going on, and you can say no whenever you want.
Yeah.
It's not like something is given over to some other entity that's going to take you somewhere that
No,
you have no idea.
no. That's the thing. You're in the driver's seat.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. No one can make me do something I don't want to do. If
Yeah.
my boundaries
Yeah.
are solid and I know myself, and someone approaches me that I'm just not attracted to, or just don't want to get involved with, I can say no and I stop. Everything stops and I walk
Mm-hmm.
away. I don't have to give a reason. I don't have to explain myself, and that's it. It's done.
Yeah. Have you
And
ever
that's very
had a situation?
powerful. And that's
Yes,
powerful.
it's very empowering, right? Because
Yeah,
now
yeah,
wherever you are in the situation, and whether it's the beginning or whether you're right in the middle of having sex and it's just not working for you, and all of you that are in the group have to be very aware of this, that you can say no, and there's no questions asked,
yeah,
because
yeah.
it doesn't really matter why. It's just
So I
you're just not in it. You're just not into it.
So I have a story to share about that, and it was a funny
Yeah, yeah.
story, the way it developed. So I was at a good friend of mine's house party in February before COVID. Thank God that happened.
Yeah.
And I
Different
ended up in the
situation now.
yeah, yeah. I ended up in the orgy room and was having some, lots of people in the room. I love group play, and a gentleman was, enjoying some one-on-one with me, and I had a woman start to approach me, and she kindly asked me for consent. She said, "May I kiss you?" And I said, "Sure, that would be great." And then she kissed me and started to move her way down, and then all of a sudden she looked at the guy who was having sex with me, looked up at him, said, "Excuse me," and pushed him out of the way. He had to disengage to remove his cock from inside me. And she started to lick my pussy. And he looked at me and he just went like this. And so I just stopped everything because I was enjoying what was going on, and I didn't invite her to go down there.
Yeah.
And so I said, "Stop. Okay, I'm done." And that's it. I said, "I'm done." And she
Yeah.
she apologized, and I just left the room. And that was that.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
don't be afraid to, if you're in that situation, to do that.
Exactly. Yeah, I remember having one situation. My ex-husband and I went to meet a guy at his place, and it was all set up very beautifully, and we felt all connected and felt really good, and we were getting close on the couch. There were a few clothing items off, not too much, and suddenly he just stops and pulls back and says, "No, this is not going to work." And it was one of my first experiences, and my ex-husband said, "Okay, fine, let's go, come on, get your stuff, let's go, Leanna." I'm like, what's wrong with us? Oh my god. like i
Yeah.
i felt very very hurt and shocked initially, because I had thought, because I knew that I had the power to say no, but when someone else said no,
Yeah.
it was quite the shock.
Yeah.
and it, being an early experience, it took me a little bit to calm down from that, and I realized, okay, yeah, like everybody has
Yeah.
the right to say no. No,
Yeah.
and my husband was very comfortable at that point. He didn't need to know, didn't ask why. We didn't ask why. He said, fine, okay, it's not working, that's fine, let's go.
Yeah.
And that was the end of that.
Yeah.
And
And that guy gave you guys a gift because
yes.
it could have gone south. It could have ended up really bad, or it would have been a bad experience. So
Yeah.
it's always better to just have the courage to speak your no and walk away.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
and we went outside after that, and then I calmed down and we started laughing. And okay, that was a crazy experience, like check that went. And this is the other thing that I want to just share here is about not putting too much power in every experience, because I have had some couples that say, well, we had a threesome once, it didn't work out, we'll never do it again. And I say, well, don't put all the power into that one experience, because you're going to have, if you're in the lifestyle, if you're experimenting and exploring sexually, in anything actually, but like we're talking about sex, there are going to be times when it's not going to be so great. It's going to be okay. And then
Yep.
and then there's going to be times when it's absolutely incredible and the most amazing experiences you've ever had.
Yeah.
So you don't want to put all the power into each experience. Each experience is just that, an experience.
Yeah. And experiences are a way to get stronger and to know yourself more. That's what I love about this, is that through these interactions with couples or with single males or with group sex, is I learn a lot about me,
Mhm.
about what my reactions are, how I interact with people,
Mhm.
what I like, what I don't like, what I want more of, what I want less of. Um,
Mhm.
and that again too is empowering. It just allows you to be yourself, and uh,
Mhm.
and that's okay.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
beautiful. It's beautiful when you
yeah,
when you can come to that point of really starting to get to know yourself better and opening to newer desires and knowing, okay, no, I've done that, it's not for me. But and even at the same time, every person you come in contact with is going to offer something new into the experience.
oh yeah, and that's the best part for me right now as a single woman um, is having those different experiences and
Mhm.
getting to know amazing people.
Yeah.
Some of them have become really good friends, and to the point where if we stopped having sex, it would not bother me. I would be so okay with that,
Mhm.
and just to know that I have these really good people as friends now, it's been really wonderful, and that we have this beautiful community to lean on if something happens, or those friendships to talk things through, or if you're not sure about something, or I'll go to a party and I'm going with friends and they're checking in on me. How's it going? Are you okay? Do you need anything?
Yeah.
So it's a really nice space to be in.
Yeah, yeah, very, very nice. Yeah, I agree. I
Mm.
agree. It's really nice when you can have that freedom and make the
Yeah,
choice whichever way you
yeah,
decide to go, as opposed to
yeah,
being stuck in a space of fear and
yeah,
discontent. Open up and relax and take some
yeah,
risks and take some,
yeah.
and the steps again are not 1 to 1,000. They're these little steps you take one at a time. Take a step, have a conversation, take another
Yeah,
step, have a conversation,
yeah,
keep
for
yourself
sure. Yeah.
conscious. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I was laughing because I'm the opposite. I'm not a toe dipper. When I want to experience something new, I'm in full on.
You
And then
jump full in.
I jump full in, and then I have an experience and I'll go, "Oh, okay. Maybe not next time."
Yeah, there's that method too. Jump right over the cliff and
Yeah,
then deal with
but
whatever later.
that's me, right? It's
Yeah.
different when you're a couple and because as a couple you are protecting your space, your intimate space. That's a sacred space. So for me, relationship is a sacred transition.
Hmm.
It's a place of transformation, of connecting to your deeper, higher self, and you want to protect that space. And then toe dipping, absolutely, taking one little bites at a time, and then really building up and feeling how actually strong your relationship is. Then you could start to really go out and fully explore once you feel more solid that way. Yeah,
Hmm.
absolutely.
Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Well, I don't know if there's any questions. This has been a really cool conversation to dive into talking to someone who's out there exploring, having fun, enjoying. And now, what about what's happening during COVID? Is it calming in Vancouver? Or do you have partners that you're meeting with, or is it pretty quiet?
Well, I think in the lifestyle there are people who have established bubbles that
Mm,
that they're with,
yeah.
and maybe having little gatherings, that sort of thing. Some people have had bigger parties, but also very much with a lot of COVID protocols in place, that sort of thing. And it again for me, it's about pro-choice. If you feel comfortable going to those events, and you go, and that's okay. I'm not going to judge anybody. And if
Mm-hmm.
for you you're more comfortable keeping your bubble small or not interacting at all, then that's your choice as well. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I think that's kind of what's going on over here in
Yeah.
Vancouver. Yeah.
Yeah. And in any case, this is something. Maybe it's not. It might not be the absolute best time to start, but there are still people that are involved, and things are opening up in different parts of the world. But it's just something that you could start talking about, and that's why I wanted to do
Yeah.
this as well, because I talk about a lot about exploration. So let's talk with people who are exploring and what they
Mm.
have done and they're normal people. We're all normal people. We're just
Yeah.
wanting to expand in a different realm. This is another
Exactly.
dimension that I think is so overlooked. People tend to think that they don't have to do anything with their sex life and it's just going to be fine. But you actually, you have to look at it.
Yeah.
You have to examine and experiment with it and stretch it and give it attention and
Yeah. It's a living, breathing being, same as the relationship.
yeah,
You know.
yeah,
Um, it's another entity in itself. When two people come together, then there's that space that's created, and it will die if you don't feed it. It will die and
yeah. And it does in
crumble.
many relationships. It
Yeah,
dies, it crumbles, it becomes completely repressed.
yeah,
And that's because they've just not taken the time to figure out what other desires are happening, what else is going on there. You can't continue to have the same sex you've had if you're in a long-term relationship.
yeah.
I really the motorcycle. You just can't. You just can't. It gets boring. It's like wearing, the same underwear your entire life.
Yeah,
You just
but
can't do
then,
it.
yeah, but the boring aspect, sometimes you have to go there in order to propel you to then go, okay, we need to do something here because this is clearly not working.
Yeah.
And sometimes that space is important to be there.
It's when you're there and you know you're there, then it's important to recognize that, hey, this is the time to start making some shifts. I created a 10 stages of sexual exploration for couples. And that third stage is that very stage of when the boredom sets in, that complacency, the similar sex life has been going on and on and on. No one's really done anything. They haven't changed since they started, maybe, or even maybe since they started being together, or even since they started ever having sex. And I say, yeah, just like you said, it's an important stage because this is a stage of realization that, okay, we have to make some big changes here.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
and one thing can be, let's maybe talk about our fantasies. And one of these biggest fantasies, again, that they've found in studies is that people want to have threesomes. So here we are talking about it.
yeah. It's great.
putting
I
putting
love talking about this stuff. I
Yeah,
love I love um, learning about other people's erotic blueprints and what turns them on, and even better, can I participate in that? Can I help in some way to
yeah.
fulfill that? To me, it's such a turn on, and it's exciting, and it's playful, and it's very delicious. And what was I going to say? Yeah, relationship is also, especially when you've been in a long-term relationship, there's a lot of deaths that happen in the relationship.
Yeah.
There are parts of you that need to die, the ideas of who you think you are or who your partner is in relationship. And you start to realize, oh, well, who is this person? I thought he was this person the whole time, and then that's not actually the case. And then that is what happens constantly in
Yeah.
all kind of valleys and dips and shifts. And I think that's also a beautiful part of relationship. And
Yeah.
it's going to happen too when you're in the lifestyle. You're going to be, oh, these are our boundaries. This is what we like. And then all of a sudden it's like, just not into that anymore. And then it changes completely. Or you leave the lifestyle for a few years and then you
Yeah.
come back and then you leave again. Or, it's
Yeah.
very dynamic. It's
Yeah,
very
it's
dynamic.
very fluid, exactly.
Hmm.
And when and it's to allow yourself to be in that fluid travel. It's like if you're not feeling it, just feel whatever you're feeling. If you're really feeling certain things, feel it. Go in and feel
Yeah.
whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
love that expression. I've used that before too about your relationship dies over and over again. And you need to know that you
Hmm.
can rebirth it every time to something new,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly. Yeah. Death feeds life.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to revive your relationship, something has to die, something has to go, and in
Exactly.
order for something new to bloom. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Very nice. All right. Well, thank you for coming on, and thank you all for who joined us in this live today, and thank you for those who show up later. If you have any comments, if you'd like to leave any of your own stories, whatever you like, I would love for you to put it in the comments below. And yeah,
Thank
do you have
you.
any final words?
Um, I guess one of the final words I have is to a reminder. There's an ancient Chinese proverb that says, "Family is society in embryo." So the couple is the nucleus of society. So everything that you do to create love and compassion and understanding in your relationship, in your intimacy, it ripples out, and then everyone around you benefits from that. Your children, your family, your
Yeah.
coworkers. So I really encourage you to move beyond the fear, and at the other end there's love, there's excitement, there's a lot of wonderful things.
The
So
world of bliss.
yeah, thank you for having me, Leanna.
You're
It was
welcome.
great.
Yes. Yes, it
Yeah.
was good. Take care and we'll
Okay.
talk to you again soon, Em. Thank you very much
Bye.
for coming on. Bye-bye.
Thanks.